Now that the COVID relief package has become law, sources tell Bloomberg the president is planning the first major federal tax hike since 1993 aimed at funding long-term recovery programs. Yesterday on ABC's This Week, the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, was asked about the call for a wealth tax. Here's what she said.
President Biden has put forward a number of proposals. He hasn't proposed a wealth tax, but he has proposed that corporations and wealthy individuals should pay more in order to meet the needs of the economy, the spending we need to do. And over time, I expect that we will be putting forth proposals to get deficits under control.
But no wealth tax?
Well, that's something that we haven't decided yet and can look at. But, you know, President Biden during the campaign proposed a higher tax rate on corporations, on individuals, and on payments, capital gains and dividend payments that are received. And those are alternatives that address that are similar in their impact to a wealth tax.
Jim, so they are talking about corporate tax back up to 28, paring back some benefits for pass-throughs. The capital gains tax rate would go higher for those with incomes of $1 million or more.
Look, I think that those of us who've seen what it's meant to corporate America to have those rates reduced know that part of this stock movements came directly from that. I know lower interest rates, obviously. But the idea that capital gains and dividends could be taxed like ordinary income, I think a lot of Americans just feel these are huge breaks for the rich. I'd like to think that it's not the case. I'd like to think that there are many people who are participating in stocks. But we know, David, we know that that's just not the case. So capital gains and dividends, if they went to ordinary income, and I don't want that to happen, but if it happened, it would raise a lot of money. And it would certainly raise a lot of money before it happened, as people would rush to do it.
Right, and you're saying people would rush to sell at the current rate.
Yeah.
You know, the question always becomes, Carl, on all these things, like what does the math look like in the Senate in particular, and what can you really get through there? Obviously, the relief bill was done under reconciliation. Could you do a tax bill in that same way? And then what about infrastructure? It just becomes very much unclear exactly what they're going to be able to accomplish with a 50-50 split right now, and certainly moderates such as Joe Manchin having such influence.
Indeed. I mean, and Goldman, with a note over the weekend, guys, looking at proposals, at least, of infrastructure of $2 trillion, maybe $4 trillion, depending on what the White House decides to put in there.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.